Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Knights at the Round Table podcast. I'm your host, Jaye, and I am a senior in the Music Technology Conservatory here at School of the Arts at Central Gwinnett High School. Today, I'm here with a very special guest, Ms.McClain, who is one of our incredible theater faculty here at SOTA. She graduated from Berry College and earned a BA in theater. Ms.McClain has over 20 years of experience teaching high school theater, as well as 8 years of experience as a professional playwright. Her original plays have led her to receive numerous awards, including the Southeastern Theater Conference Innovative Playwriting Instruction Award, the Texas New Play Award, and a finalist for the Risk Theater International Competition. She is the ultimate theater maker and the one-act queen, but we will get into that more later, of course. So, I can't wait to dive into your story and talk about all the things you've done as an artist and an educator. So everyone, please welcome Ms. McClain.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing really well. I can't believe it's September already.
I know.
The year has really started to fly by.
Really? So. All right. Well, let's not keep anyone waiting any longer, and let's get into some questions. Okay. We love the bell. What influenced you to become a theater teacher?
The truth is, I had kind of a bum experience in my high school theater department. So I had two theater teachers. I had one really amazing theater teacher, and then I had one that was maybe not so stellar. And I'm not going to say any names or say where I graduated from, but it was a Gwinnett County public school. But I think that having that really made me think well, if she can do it, anybody can do it. So I know it's maybe not the most inspirational story, but but actually when I first started, it quickly became apparent to me that this is what I was meant to do, and I really, really do love it. So I know it's the right career path for me, even if my actually getting into it was more for spite.
No, I love that. That's just the perfect little get back to your teacher. I'm going to be a better theater teacher than you.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I mean, you're an awesome theater teacher, so I believe it.
Well, the bar was on the floor, so.
All right. So I'm going to ask a little bit more about what your high school experience was like.
Yeah.
And did you think at the beginning of your high school experience that you would end up where you are now? Did you want to go into education, or was that later in the story, or where did that happen?
So initially, I was just, auditioning for plays. So the first thing that I ever auditioned for was Annie. And I didn't get in because I was too tall to be an orphan, and the director also said that she did not want any other redheads in the cast except for Annie. So, but it turned out to be okay because then I was able to audition for a play called The Diviners, which is a much smaller cast, and it was our black box show that year. And actually, getting the lead in that show as opposed to being ensemble in Annie, I was able to learn so much as a freshman and just I don't know, it really kind of set me on a path of taking on sort of more challenging things and looking for unique opportunities for performance.
I mean, that's just living proof that everything happens for a reason.
It does, yeah. I was really disappointed. And I think that that's also been valuable. I have had, quite a bit. When we talk about playwriting, it's nothing but a long line of disappointments, honestly. But that's a really important part of it, because if you are doing it just for the accolades and things, you're going to get burnt out because that disappointment is pretty constant.
So true. Especially in theater. Any subjective sport like that, it's just constant to get no's.
Oh, and any of the arts.
Until you get to the right yes. Okay, since you've been doing this for 20 years, what keeps you motivated and inspired to do what you do?
I really the act of creating a piece of theater with a group of students, and to be able to collaborate as they're my artistic partners, and we're all kind of building this thing together. That's really what motivates me. If I was just out here having to do things all on my own, I would get so burnt out. But that really it reignites that creative spark. Obviously being here at SOTA is so wonderful because I have, Miss Q and Mr. Tarver and Mr. Davis, and like all of us are all working together, and we have just a really great working partnership. And that's so different from where I was, because like even with when I was at Archer, I was all by myself. And so it was a one-woman show, and it was really exhausting. So, yeah, having other creative adults to work with is amazing.
I love that. I love the sense of community between the teachers here. It's so beautiful. It is.
It's really special.
And it gives like the students such great role models to look up to, I feel like. And
I think that's a goal for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like every teacher at SOTA does an amazing job at that, especially the theater teachers as well. And how they just really have that sense of community, and it's beautiful.
Thanks.
How did you hear about the creation of SOTA, and what made you choose to play a role in the creation of this school?
Yes.
You were kind of instrumental in it.
Well, I mean, I all of us that were hired in that first year, we all came with just sort of the idea of what SOTA was going to be, right? Like they rolled out that, yes, we're going to have this fine arts, magnet program that kids are going to be able to audition to come to, and it's going to, have a lot of like different opportunities for performance and for all these different areas, and that just really spoke to me. I mean, I was, at 2020, I was fun employed. So then I was at home being like the digital teacher for my two children who were in first and third grade at the time. And that was just a special circle of hell that I never want to return to, having to manage 8 hours of Zoom for two little elementary schoolers. I will basically do anything, never to have to do that again. But with SOTA, to be able to come here and to really, like, that's one of the wonderful things about, Principal Orr and Miss Rose, they had a vision for what it was, but they also were really interested in kind of how we wanted to shape the Theater Conservatory. And so we have an opportunity to do something very unique with the way that we've structured, like so that nobody has to really specialize. Everybody kind of learns all the different aspects of theater for their first 2 years, and then as juniors they get to kind of say, okay, I think this is, I'm more of a musical theater person, or I'm more of a straight play person, or technical theater, or that kind of thing. So I'm very, very proud of that in terms of like how the theater experience at SOTA is different.
Awesome. And I think that that's really cool because you see so many students who now know what they want to do. Now they're applying to their colleges and they're deciding, I want to major, I want to BA in musical theater. And then some want to go into sound. I know Destiny wants to do that. Yeah. And so I think it's really cool that the Theater Conservatory has done such an amazing job of helping each kid find their place.
Right.
Which was really special.
Yeah.
And then what did you envision the Theater Conservatory looking like, and how is it similar and different to what it looks like today?
Well, really, I think we were able to craft exactly what we wanted. Like in a lot of ways, it is, when we had our sort of initial meeting, and we didn't know each other really when we were all hired. So like I knew of Miss Q and I knew of Mr. Tarver, but I hadn't really ever met either one of them, and we'd certainly never worked together before. So it was really fortunate that we all kind of came to the table with like similar creative and artistic values, and that we really see the educational opportunity for theater as like building creative artists and people who want to go out in the world and do this, and not necessarily about making everyone a cookie cutter of like, you're all going to be this type of performer or that kind of thing. So I think there's if I had to say something that I wish was different, I'm going to, the cop-out answer, I wish we had a bigger facility. I wish we had more storage. Even though we're only 5 years old, we're bursting at the seams. And so, that's always going to be the strategy of, like, how do we maximize the space that we've got, so.
There's always a full house at SOTA Theater. So you teach all kinds of theater classes, from dramatic writing to theater fundamentals. What is your favorite class to teach?
I love dramatic writing. Like, that really is the highlight of my week, is getting to hang out with those kids. But I really also love teaching technical theater. One of the things that the way that we kind of crafted the technical theater pathway is that by the time kids are juniors and they're taking Tech 3 with me, that's kind of when they learn how to use the sewing machines. And so we do a big unit where it's like, we call it sewing boot camp. And, everybody kind of is like dreading it, but at the same time, it's a really valuable life skill, being able to sew and have a functional understanding of that kind of stuff, even if you never really, go on to sew costumes or anything in your theater career. And so I love teaching that. And then, the fundamentals class, too, is my opportunity to kind of give just a really broad foundation of, like, theater history and that kind of thing. And so that lets me, nerd out a little bit, too. And we read plays in there and everything. So, I'm really fortunate. I get to teach all of my favorite things.
She's the theater extraordinaire, y'all. I really like the classes you do in Tech 3 with the sewing. I got to be on Tech for Les Mis a couple of years ago, where I was part of the costume department, so I got to experience a little bit of Ms.McClain's sewing classes. Yeah. And, okay, what is something that you would change or add to the theater program, which I know you said more space. Can you think of anything more? That's such a huge thing to...
Yeah, I wish we did have both the budget and the time within the day to kind of have like a pretty regular masterclass kind of situation. So I would love to bring in like a person who's an expert on dialects and have them do like a workshop that that focuses on how to build different accents or stage combat or some of these like really like specialized things, and that's something that I think we could all of us can benefit from learning from outside experts and everything, and that would be really cool.
So true. It's so cool, like, getting to meet different people from, like, all of the conservatories, since I've been involved with many in my time at SOTA, being able to meet different professionals that have specialized in many things, and it makes you realize what kind of person you are. It makes you learn a lot about yourself through them.
I think that's true.
Do you have any funny stories from your time at SOTA?
Let's see. Well,
oh gosh.
We always have the, one act craziness, right? And so like, I think for me, when we did Sideshow, that was a very, very, very big set. It was so large that we had to have two 24-foot U-Haul trucks to get everything on.
I remember that was big.
It took such a long time to get how all of the pieces were going to fit in these two trucks. Because, like, we knew, and Mr. Tarver had worked it all out, we knew that we could mathematically do it. But the idea of it working on paper versus actually going in the truck was somewhat of a challenge, and we were all really worn out and really tired, and I just remember standing on the truck and looking down at Mr. Tarver, and it's like, it is not going to fit. And I just was like, at the moment, like, you want to cry, but you just laugh because it's like, well, I don't know. We're going to take it down and take it apart and try and fit it back together so it will go in. That was a time, but it was really wonderful too, because it was like everybody was so swept up in, that was our very first big one act, and we were traveling it, and we were getting screened for Thespian Conference, and like there was all this excitement around it, and so we just wanted everything to be like as spectacular as it could possibly be, and it was amazing.
Oh no, for sure. Definitely one of my favorites I've seen so far.
Oh.
It has, if you haven't seen Sideshow, the SOTA version, obviously, it was these two humongous boxes. And they had
four.
Like, yeah. 4. Oh, okay. And they had like posters of the students on them to represent the different characters. It was so cool. Definitely.
They opened up and they lit up on the inside.
Yes, it opened up to like a dressing room. It was so cool. Anyways.
Kudos to Michael Tarver. That was a beautiful design.
Yes. You have lots of funny sayings you use while teaching and directing.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know, and I'm sure all of your students want to know, what is your favorite Ms.McClain-ism?
Well, okay. So I do have one that when people are just all over the place and everything is a mess, I do say that you need to get your poop in a group, which is,
Wait,
a nice way of saying get it together. Teacher-friendly way. And then the other one that I do say is like when people are on stage and they kind of like space out.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
And they just sort of aren't present and they aren't actively listening and it's very obvious. I say that you've got to stop going to Coney Island and riding a ride and eating a hot dog or whatever it is you're doing and be present here. And yeah, I do say that. I think
about that one quite often, honestly.
Well, because it's funny because it's like, yeah, I know you're not doing it on purpose, but it also is super distracting and like it's very clear you are not listening or giving, any attention to what's going on around you. So stop it. And then there's a point in the process of every show that I direct where we always kind of cross over to I wouldn't be embarrassed for people to come and see this now, and it's always really exciting. It's a moment for celebration, right? Like I would be okay with people paying $10 American to see this.
I quote that a lot. I say, yeah, do I want to spend my good American dollars? Yes. And only Soda Theater people know exactly who I am talking or who I am quoting when I say that. What do you want your students to take away from having you as a teacher?
Oh, gosh. I guess just to always have a sense of joy about what it is that you're creating. Like even when you're working on heavy shows, right, or things that have like serious themes, that you've got to be able to find a sense of playfulness and joy in the process, because otherwise it gets too heavy. And then especially for my dramatic writing kids, I really like one of my core artistic values is that everyone has stories that are worth telling. And that is something that I really very, very, very strongly believe and want to impart to my students, that their voice is important and that their contribution to the artistic conversation that they want to be a part of is valid. So that's it.
Oh, so adorable. I love it. And it's so true. I mean, we all do have stories. And I mean, sometimes I go through periods of writer's block when I'm songwriting and stuff, but it's so true that everything, not that everything is worth telling, but not everything is worth telling. But however, everybody does have stories worth telling, and I wouldn't believe you if you said I don't have something worth saying.
Yeah.
All right. And I would love to hear more of your experience as a playwright.
Okay.
What got you into writing plays?
So I really started writing plays. It was when my children were much younger, and I wasn't able to work as an actor professionally as frequently as I did, just because that was, I would teach all day and then have rehearsal, and then I would often go to my, extra my professional rehearsal, that kind of thing. And so obviously with small children, you don't get to do that anymore. And so I was feeling a little bit like my creative spirit wasn't being fully nurtured in that way. But with writing, I could kind of do it after the kids went to bed or that kind of thing. And so I knew that I had a couple of different plays in mind that I wanted to kind of start working on. And then in 2017, when I finished my first full-length play, and it just sort of opened this floodgate of I just want to write all the time and all the time and all the time. And with the pandemic and a lot of the theater experiences shut down, I was pretty fortunate and prolific in that time because I was able to just kind of write. And so I generated a lot of different stuff during that 2-year period.
That's awesome. And she does write a lot. I've seen her. I've seen her writing. All right. Who's your biggest influence as a playwright or an actor, whichever you choose?
So my biggest influence as a playwright, well, it's two folks. So I absolutely love a playwright named Sarah Ruhl, Ruhl. And she is most well known for a play called Eurydice. And it is, we did it here,
Yes,
let's see, first year that SOTA was open. Mr. Tarver directed it. And it's just, she is, as a playwright, just phenomenal. And she really, like, has this beautiful way with the way she writes stage directions and how, like, just poetic they are. And I just, gets me. I love that. So she's my biggest inspiration for sure.
Wow. How do you take your experiences as a playwright and apply them to your teaching and directing?
Oh, that one is, I think there's a lot of crossover in, especially with directing. Like, I think being a playwright makes me a better director, and then being a director makes me a better playwright too. Like, they kind of the two, because you're constantly switching your focus, right? So like as a playwright, I'm really focused on like the story, the dialogue, that kind of thing. And then when I switch to being a director, I'm thinking about like, what is the audience experience like? What are they walking away from this, and how do I, as the director, shape this story that I have on the page? And so being able to like swap back and forth between those two roles, you have a better understanding of all of the pieces and how they all work together.
That totally makes sense. I can see that immediately. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to our next section. And we have prepared a special activity for you.
All right.
One of my favorite things about you as a teacher is your ability to get students to come out of their shells to portray a character. You perform this activity in SOTA auditions where students portray various characters or things, such as animals. I see kids growling, I see kids meowing, I see all kinds of stuff, like in the SOTA auditions when I'm helping as a SOTA ambassador, and I just love that. It kind of reminds me of the game charades. Okay. So today we have 4 cards, each with the title of each of our SOTA 1 acts.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to start it off?
Okay, so what am I
okay, we
picking
got 4
a card?
Cards.
Okay.
And it's Guess the Show. Woo!
Okay.
Let me pull these closer.
All right.
Whoops.
You got this.
All right. If you want to pick a card, you can, or if you
and
want
so
me
then
to start it off.
I pick and I look at it.
Yes.
And then I have to act it out so that you guess it. Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
Oh, I know. Penelope ad.
Yeah. Oh. That was great, Jaye. Good job.
I've been paying attention. Okay. Oh, I might have accidentally revealed it.
I didn't see.
Excuse me for a second.
Oh, head over heels. Oh, God. And you could have just pointed to your shirt today, too.
Oh. Yes, I had to rep my SOTA theater gear.
All right. Okay.
Ooh, this one might be hard.
Okay, I'll try something different.
Sideshow?
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking about that one earlier, and I was like, what will I do for that one? Will I, like, try to grab somebody and, like, pull them right next to me?
My invisible sock puppet conjoined twin.
All right.
Okay, process of elimination.
I know. How do I do that? Oh, wait.
Night Witches. Yeah.
Oh, my
Nice
goodness.
job.
That's the only one I haven't seen, so I probably should research that show a little more. All right. Thank you so much for participating in that activity with me and being a good sport.
Yes, of course. That was fun.
I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did. You did too.
I did.
All right. So your favorite season is approaching.
Yes.
So you're in town this year. SOTA 1 Act is currently in the rehearsal process. Yes. And you don't play when it comes to 1 Act. Sorry, I was trying to read what I said there. You do not play when it comes to 1 Act. Year after year, you direct some of the most creative shows I have ever seen and bring a story to life in only 55 minutes, y'all. Yep. That's crazy to think about. So I would love for you to explain to our audience what 1 Act play competition is and what does that process even look like?
So 1 Act competition is part of the Georgia High School Athletic Association. So it's in the same camp as like cross country, soccer, football, all of that. It's sort of under that larger umbrella. And so with the 1 Act competition rules are that you have to perform a play that is going from a completely bare stage. You set up your set, you perform your play, you take everything down, and then back to a bare stage, all within 55 minutes. And then you are judged by professionals and adjudicators and that kind of thing. And then there's scores, and they announce a winner, and then the winner from region gets to go to state, and all of that good stuff. So, this is my 20th year of doing directing 1 Act. Actually, it's my 26th year of being involved with 1 Act because I did it as a high schooler, and then I also helped with when my brother was in school as well. I came back and would help out with them. So it was like it's been a part of my life for a really long time, and it is something that I'm very proud of in terms of like what we've built, kind of the legacy that we've built here at SOTA, doing very well at 1 Act. And I mean, knock on wood, that I hope that continues this year. I really, when we pick a season and we're trying to decide like what do we want to do for 1 Act, there's so many different elements that go into like how we pick a show. And one of the first considerations for me always is, do I want to direct it? Because I'm going to have to live with it. I start working on the show, trying to make the cut anyway for what's going to be the competition, because it's a full-length show. I start working with it in June or July. And so then we have auditions in August, and then rehearsals through September, and then we do the school performance here in October and competition. And then if we go to state, we're working on it into November. And then if we get screened for Thespian Conference, we're working on it all the way through February. So it's a show that I'm going to have to live with for a really long time. So I need to love it. And I do. You know, it's funny. I mean, when we got done with Head Over Heels, I was like, oh, I need a break. I need a break from the music. I need a break from the color. Like, everything was a little overstimulating. But by the time the summer came around again, when it would come up on my Spotify, I wouldn't skip it. Yes. I would be like, yeah, I'm glad that we did that, you know. So it's like that. You live with it so long, and then you need a break.
Yeah, my mom and I listen to 80s music in the car, and sometimes the Go-Go's go on. Yes. And it's just a cute little memory that I love having. It's still one of my favorite seasons of my life in high school, for sure, was being able to work on that show. It was so special. Just everything about it. It was just a fun little Rainbow Bright party.
It was a fun Rainbow Bright party.
What is your favorite 1 Act you've done, if you had to pick?
If I had to pick, so my favorite 1 Act that I've done at SOTA was probably Sideshow. I love that show so much, and it was such a challenge because it's the full length of Sideshow is a very long show. It's almost 3 hours long, and so to cut that and to condense that story down was so difficult. But then I really love the music, and I love the characters and all of that, and it has enough of the because I'm a little bit of a spooky girl, and so I love the kind of heavy dark stuff, and so that show kind of scratches that itch. I don't know. I'm sort of a beach goth, I guess, you know, in my aesthetic. I mean, of the types of art that I like, you know, because I love Rainbow Bright, happy, silly, goofy stuff, but I also have to balance that with the, you know, Beetlejuice elements. So yeah.
I will say Sideshow is a really special one. I mean, every student I've talked to just either they worked on the show or they watched it. they just love that show. And I mean, I love it too. It
Mm-hmm.
was such a special one to be, like, if you were able to be around during that time,
Yeah.
it was really cool to see. What was the most stressful one act you've ever done?
The most stressful one act. So, my very first year at Archer, we were having to compete because Archer was a brand new school, and so we weren't competing with, like, the other Gwinnett County schools, so we had to drive all the way out to Hart County High School, which is where we competed. It's out
2 hours?
It's about, yeah, almost into, like, South Carolina.
Yes.
And so we went up there, and it was, we had just a little truck with our set, and, like, we did have a big crew because it was a box set, and so, like, everything went together pretty quickly. But when we got there, these people tried to tell me that our entire set, everything from our truck, had to fit in this taped out 8x8 square because that's how they'd always done it. And I was like, I had never heard of this before. In all my years of doing one act, I'd never heard of this rule before. And so I'm standing there on the loading dock, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And my assistant principal that was with me at the time, his son was in the show, and he came along as an additional chaperone. And he was like, well, he goes, I guess we'll just stack it up because they don't say how high we can go. And I was like, Mike, we're not doing that. This is not a rule. And so I pulled up on my phone the GHSA, the official rule book, and I was like, show me where. I don't see nothing about no 8x8 box, so we're not doing it. And we didn't, and they were mad. We ended up getting third that year, but it was just like, I think I remember the administrator was like, man, he goes, you're kind of a mama bear about all of this. And I was like, well, I'm not going to mess around with stupid rules that somebody just made up. I don't play by your house rules. I'm going to go by the actual rules. So,
I mean, that is completely fair.
Don't let yourself be pushed around.
That's what I would have done too.
People at Hart County.
No, you do not want to do that. What's your favorite one act memory?
Well, okay, so people who have been involved in one act here at SOTA, and really people who have been involved with me at all at any of the schools that I've taught at. So I tell my one act story, right, of when I was in high school, and I tell it every year, and it is a very special thing, even though at the time it was an incredibly, like, painful and embarrassing moment for
the butterfly costume
for high school Emily. Yes, exactly. And so I tell that story, but I feel like it's become such a part of who I want my students to be out in the world, right? That I use that painful experience of something that happened to me, and I translated that into an opportunity for the humans that I come in contact with to go out and be better than the girls that were that were so awful.
Yes.
And I think it helps make us all a little bit more empathetic. So I think that's probably my favorite one act memory. And then of course, every time that we win and that everybody is so excited and celebrating their hard work, and it's really gratifying to have all of the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into the one act shows. And it's hours and hours and hours of work. But to feel that the professionals that watch this show against a very competitive region, like we have some really good schools, and so for them to say this show was overall the most excellent of everything we saw today always feels really good.
It does. I mean, I remember running up on the stage at the LAC.
It's
and
joyful.
Again, it was like one of my favorite memories of being in high school, really. Getting to be part of that show. And obviously the winning felt nice. And then it was amazing to be able to get to do it one extra time at state, too. I felt really grateful.
And to get second place at state.
And yeah, that was amazing. That was a very competitive one act.
Oh, yeah.
That was insane. All right. Now on to the next one act.
Yes.
All right. So for those who might not be familiar with You're in Town, what is the show about? So is it about peas?
Actually, yeah. So it does. It purposefully has a pretty like icky title. For a very good reason. So in the world of the play, the city that it takes place in is having a water shortage, and they've had a water shortage for 20 years. And so what they have done to handle this is they've outlawed private toilets. So you no longer can have a toilet in your home. You no longer can have a bathroom that you don't pay for. And so that's where kind of this idea of, you have to pay to pee. And they sing a song about it. Because it's a musical, like it, always. But what it really is a satire of like the abusive way that corporations and the capitalist nature of the world that we live in can be exploiting people and can take advantage of poverty and that type of thing that makes life worse for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so the show has a lot of really interesting commentary about that, about corporate greed, about being poor stewards of our environmental resources as well. And it does that all within kind of a tongue-in-cheek comic tone.
Mm-hmm. How's the rehearsal process going? I know that's not a question in here, but I just want to know.
It's going really well. So we're done with blocking. We've learned all the music and all the choreography. So now it's about kind of polishing, which is personally my favorite phase of the rehearsal process.
I agree.
It's so much fun once everything is kind of up on its feet and you're really getting to tweak and fine tune and make everything as strong as it possibly can be. So that's what we're getting into. We haven't started running it with the timer yet. That's always a big phase. But I feel pretty comfortable that we're going to be within like 57 or so the first time that we run. That's what I kind of feel like where we're hitting. So it'll just be a little bit. Bad. No, very close.
All right. What do you want people to take away from You're in Town, whether it's the students or the audience members or even the judges at the competition?
Well, this show, there's no way that the judges aren't going to be familiar with it, right? It's been around since 2001, so they're going to know it. They've probably at least seen it, or maybe they've directed it themselves. It's a really it is a really popular piece, and so wanting to make sure always it's important that our productions don't feel like a copycat of something that you could see at any other high school.
And that's never the purpose with a SOTA production.
No,
ever.
We really, all of us take a lot of pride in making sure that our shows are something that there is a unique production experience with it. Whereas if you wanted to just have a carbon copy of like the Broadway show and you just watch the slime tutorial and then can put that up on stage, and that's fine. You can choose to do that. But for us, it's like that's not what's interesting about it. So our production does take on a really interesting tone in terms of like some of the meta commentary that's going on with the set design especially. So we utilized a lot of posters that evoke like the 1940s war, Uncle Sam kind of posters and all of that, but we've changed a lot of the wording to reflect what's going on in the world of the play. So
oh my goodness. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. It's both very fun and ridiculous, but also I do hope that audiences see the message of the play and do like start to think about, what ways are we being taken advantage of? What ways can we collectively stand together and make life better and to take better care of our environmental resources? Because, that's important.
You always have the audience thinking after a show. It's so amazing, and you're just so creative.
Oh, thank you.
Every single time I watch a show, or even with Head Over Heels when I was in a show, I was just, like, in awe every time of your creativity and the symbolism, even within Head Over Heels, like, with the columns and the specific color designs representing different symbols and different things, and the flags. Oh, my goodness. It's all coming back to me now.
Yes.
And, I think that you're just so creative.
Thank you,
and
Jaye.
it's also very clear that your impact on the students and the faculty is part of what makes SOTA SOTA.
Aw.
I mean, there's no SOTA without Ms. McClain, in my opinion.
Oh, that's really sweet. Well,
So-
I mean, let's see, I tell everybody that I'm going to keep teaching through, so let's see, my son is in 8th grade, and then my daughter's in 6th grade, and then my stepdaughter is in 4th grade. So my stepdaughter needs to get graduated from high school, and then I'm done.
Nice.
So that's what, 8 more, yeah.
Oh, goodness. Are they still interested in theater? How are
They
doing?
are, yeah. Actually, my son is talking about putting in an application to come to SOTA. So
Y'all better watch
I
out.
know.
Watch out, SOTA. Grammy's coming for you. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
Of course.
I mean,
I
you're
was
just so
happy to
lovely.
be here. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. So this concludes this episode of the Nights at the Round Table podcast. Make sure to catch You're in Town here at Central Gwinnett High School on the SOTA main stage from October 23rd through 25th. I better see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye-bye.